have this on live class?
The classroom, I believe the information, material shared through there.
So,
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Slow down a little bit.
They have questions, how do I see the chat? Let me go back.
This is fine. Never mind. Okay, you don't need it. Because you can do it.
and then, but every day, what do I do? We go on days?
So I just go
If you
down.
wanted to download it yourself as PDF, you can just download it there.
So I
And have
go
it on
down
your
there.
computer.
and-
Yeah, but if you come in person, look at the printout.
Okay.
It's
That's
just
it?
something. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Let's close that because it takes up too much space. I don't know.
Thanks, Evan.
So everyone online can hear me on Zoom. And what I'm going to ask, if there's any questions from all of you on Zoom, if you would just text me at my cell phone, which is 805-907-1150. That'll make it easier than me trying to go find the chat box and do all that stuff. So that I can, yeah, my voice.
Okay, where do we put this?
We'll turn it down so people hear it in the room, actually, but they'll be able to hear it. Till the
Okay, so everyone online, oh, that's so much better. I don't have to yell. Yes. Okay, so everyone online, if you have any questions, please plan on texting me that at my cell phone, which is 805-907-1150. That way it'll make it easy and I can read your questions or your interaction. And we'll get started. We'll just give it another minute. Oh, we'll get started. So it's Carlos, Ryan, Megan. Kathleen, no, Catherine, right? Kirsten, just like Kirsten Powell. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started this afternoon. And we are going to be talking, I know Mark is going to stop in and he's going to be talking about the class that he's teaching tomorrow. But I'll go ahead and get started on today's class. And today's Ignite's going to be talking a little bit about what we're going to be learning in Ignite and what we're really going to be focusing on our activity to do in our career from now going forward. So we're going to be learning how to every day focus on building a database, practicing scripts, contacting prospective clients, and getting to know the market. So that's kind of what this class helps us focus on. And then all the amazing teachers and instructors on the different levels, you'll get to learn from them as well, which makes it, I think, kind of fun. So we are going to go ahead and go to, I think this is going to be your second page. And hold on. There. You know, if you just mess around with the button long enough, it just starts happening. All right, so no matter, it just really doesn't seem to matter what class we talk about. Anytime we're really talking about building our career, we talk about this, our big why. And sometimes it seems very elusive. My big why, what does that really mean? But this is really an important key of why you can commit to doing what we need to do to get done what we need to get done in our day-to-day activities to be successful in real estate. So, they basically ask a simple question: why did you become a real estate agent? What were you hoping to achieve? Who has any feedback on that? Why'd you decide to do this? Megan?
Make money,
To make money?
help my husband retire sooner.
Help your husband retire
So
soon.
we can travel and do fun stuff.
Okay, so you got a lot of stuff that's attached to your big why, right?
It is, yeah.
Because really kind of helping your husband retire so you guys could go do what you want to do together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's important to remember, because staying committed to that and connected to that, it's going to help you get out of bed every day, right? Right. Anyone else? Why'd you choose? Kirsten?
I did, I thought I could be retired and had sold my company and was retired for 2 years, and my big why is I couldn't do it, and I love people and I love to sell, and I have 3 kids too, and I wanted to show them that you can start a whole new different career path and be successful at it, and just to rely on themselves and not somebody else for that.
Impressive. Impressive, Kirsten. What was your first business you sold?
It's a medical marketing for toxicology testing for like opioid patients.
Nice. Oh, well, congratulations.
Thanks.
One success leads to another,
Yes,
right?
I believe that.
So that's good. So sometimes when we think about our business and our mindset and real estate in general, our mind kind of starts coming up with ideas of what reality is and maybe what our own reality is. That's really kind of our mindset around it, right? Where I see agents start very optimistic and excited about the industry, and then things get a little bit more challenging, and then immediately their mindset goes from, I can do this, to, oh, I'm not sure I could do this, and this is harder than I thought it would be, and mindset really takes over. So you all will find that we really need to overcome that mindset piece of it to really be successful in this business. You know, Diana Kokoska, one of the people I just love the most that I met through this company, she says that it's 95% mindset, this business. So remember that, because that's just truly a key of winning, is a mindset, and making sure going forward you don't have limiting beliefs, because limiting beliefs have a way of holding us back, because we start buying into those beliefs. It's kind of interesting, because you actually kind of build a story around those beliefs, and they start becoming reality more than the real true reality. So always check your mindset, always stay committed to your big why at the highest level and the activity that it's going to take to achieve that. So, and do most of you do goal planning for this year? Most of you I think you were in that class, right?
Yeah.
Right. And Ryan, you were there as well. I think most of you all took that. So knowing the activity that you're going to do to kind of get the end result that you want is going to be a key piece of it. So, but this big why, I think, is, even Simon Sinek talks about it, right? You guys listen to Simon Sinek much? Where he talks about, your big why is really the foundation to success in life. So it's not just Gary Keller who talks about it. There's lots of people who talk about the big why. So, and Gary says the thing to remember is Henry Ford has that famous quote about when you talk about your thinking, if you think you could do something or you think you can't, either way, you're right. So whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're going to be right. So we're going to go ahead and talk about what successful agents do every single day. That's kind of what's up on this screen here. And growing our business and running our business, two different things. We know that, right? So growing our business, we're going to lead generate for buyers and sellers. These are the activities that kind of set it apart. Make seller listing presentations and get listings. Make a buyer presentation and get that buyer. And preview real estate. That's really about growing your business, right? And then running your business would be market seller listings, show buyers houses, negotiate contracts, transaction management to closing, vendor management, setting goals, compliance, risk management, attending training and getting coaching and managing money. That's all about running your business. So it's really quite a bit that goes into this whole game. But every day you're either doing one or the other or both, growing your business or running your business. Make sense? So Spark, that's where we are right now. We're going to be learning some of these things in our class today. Let's go ahead. So welcome to Ignite, and we should have Gary's video here coming up. Right.
Hi, I'm Gary Keller. This course will allow you to get off to a fast start you can build on. Because if you repeated the principles every 90 days for a year, believe me, you'd have an awesome first year. And just as important, you would have built the foundation and momentum for your entire career. It is practical, realistic, and easy to apply. It's about the fundamentals that determine your level of success in the business of real estate. From our research with top agents, we have found that they too started their careers with these fundamentals, and they continue to do them along with their teams to this very day. And it's not hard. It just requires a little focused effort, a few hours every day. Now, there is really just one way to achieve the goal. It's lead generation. Now, other skills are important, yet without leads to work with, your skills won't mean a thing. Dealing with business never takes precedence over what? Finding business. Never. Research shows that top producing agents make lead generation their #1 priority and the one thing they make sure they always get done. You can do this. And when you do, you will get the leads, the relationships, the experiences, the career, and the income that you want and deserve. Go get them, and good luck.
You guys all hear that? Could you hear that okay? Okay, so what does Gary say should be our #1 priority? Lead generation, right? So simple, but everyone hates it. And it's kind of like you just keep saying it over and over again, either prospecting or lead gen, it's always the same thing. So that's so important. And what does Gary say about this video if we do what? What does he say about this class if we learn in class? You remember what he said? Yeah. Yeah, I think it showed on the clock 9 to 11, but frankly, I really believe if we're not working with buyers or sellers, then we should be lead generating at least 4, 5, 6 hours a day because there's nothing else to do, right? Except lead generate. So agents don't like to hear that, but it's really true. And nothing else about your business will have as big an impact on it as the number of leads you have. So, and leads and contacts are two different things, right? Leads, do you know what the difference is between leads and contacts?
Leads is a one-way conversation.
Very good. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Leads is a one-way, contacts is two-way communication. Okay.
Leads turn into contacts then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for sure. that's when they do. So Ignite's really kind of talking about this, the whys and hows of lead generation, how you're going to get an appointment, and then how you're going, your daily success habits from there. So in this, I guess the trickiest thing about the market now is it's taken away some of those lead generation components that we used to be able to do as far as like open houses. So you've got to figure out other ways. Door knocking is minimal, right? So don't tell Gay I said something. Some people door knock, but anyhow, but we have to figure out ways we're going to go out and meet people, talk to people. So if you guys, on your phone, how many contacts you have on your phone, have you guys looked at that yet? So if you go to, Gary Keller says, well, how many people you have on your phone or potential contacts?
Does it give you a total somewhere?
Yeah, if you go to the very bottom, it says number. So the very end, you'll see I have 1,754 contacts.
1,300.
Okay, good. 1,300. Can
Wow.
you see, Megan, how many you have in your phone? Can you guys tell? Yeah. Okay, so Gary says that here's the thing that he's changed too. Now remember, Gary doesn't just say anything off the top of his head.
Very bottom.
Very bottom of your do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you look on the side, it has A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
Right.
and the very bottom thing that it has is a number sign. If you push on that number sign on the bottom right, where it says the alphabet on the side,
466.
or 66, okay, it'll have your number.
I got it.
Okay, so Gary says that from people who already know you, he used to say that you could get a conversion rate out of your database 12 to 2, 6 to 1. But in all reality, he's really kind of checked that and gone back through. And he says, you take that 6% and then you divide that by 2. And that's really truly the number. So take your full number that's in there and get 6% of that, and then divide that 6% by 2. And that would give you a better indication of those people in your phone who will do business with you, right?
Wow.
So that's something to think about.
Wow, I feel like it should be more.
What's that?
I feel like 40 people out of 1,300.
So
That's
is that 6%?
Well, the 6% was, 79.23 and then divided by 2.
Yeah. That's what the research has shown. That actually, that change, because it used to only be 6%. He didn't say divide it in half, but that change has just come this year in his material. This is what's interesting. Gary is a huge researcher, huge, and he has colleges in their master's program doing research for us. Baylor's one of the colleges, one of the Ivy League schools. There's like 3 or 4 schools that are their college level doing this research for us. And that's pretty interesting. And you knew it wasn't 6 to 1. You knew it because you watched it, you watched people. Now that's effectively, guys, that's not just in 1 year, 2, that's effectively touching them multiple times, right? So that's one thing that's important. All right, so let's go to, let's see, there was someone who had a question. So Maria had a question about percentage. Maria, hopefully that just gave you an answer, that percentage of the numbers that we went over. Can't see Maria, but you need to figure out that you take 6% of your database and then divide that in half. And that'll give you a percentage of how many people you'll have that'll do business with you. All right, let's move on. Okay, Gary's talking about people you've met in one way, shape, or form. That's your sphere. This is what I like in this course that Gary just kind of brought up this year. He's saying, think about those people that you know, be it in your phone, or maybe it's not even in your phone, it's in groups of people that you know, or you guys who are super young, people are just starting to buy houses, or maybe it's people that you know in your family, people they know. Who do you know that's going through a life change, right? That's a good question for you all to be thinking about. Who do you know that's going through a life change, a divorce? I just talked to an agent today and he said, I took a listing for, I think it was $1.1 million, and it was his good friend's parent died and they're selling the house, right? So that's what triggered that. So death, divorce, getting married, having children, right? All of those things could be a change that could be happening in that family or with those people that would trigger buying a home or selling a home. So start thinking about that. Who is it that you know that's going through a life change that could possibly use your help? And then reaching out to them. Does that make sense? Yeah. Especially for you guys who are new, that's a perfect thing to be thinking about. So on Zoom, perfect thing to be thinking about. Who do you know that's going through a life change right now that might need to do something different, possibly? And maybe it's a conversation. You know, as parents get older, people start thinking about what should I do with my parents? Well, it takes a while to get the parents' house even ready to sell, right? So that's a conversation that you could start working on now. That's for later. And Mark coming in just to talk. Mark is you're the instructor tomorrow, right, Mark?
Friday.
Oh, and Friday.
And next week. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Mark Moskowitz, if you haven't met me yet. I'm going to be teaching a great class tomorrow on prospecting, our database, and lead follow-up, which is probably the most important class you have, because if you don't know what to say and you have a way of keeping track, you can't do this business. And so we only get from 1 to 2:30, but I'm going to be going from 1 to 3. I'm going to give you a heads up. The last half hour, the extra part, I'm just going to be doing role play. So I'll pick each of you and we'll practice different scripts. And you guys bring your phones, you can record me so you can listen to what I say. I'm going to teach you what do we say if we're doing during our circle prospecting. What do we do if we're calling our sphere? What do we do if we have a buyer or a seller? Okay. So whatever examples you guys want, I'll just role play them with you. So I really encourage you. How many people are on Zoom?
I think there's 4 or 5.
Okay, I would encourage you, if you're in Zoom land right now, come to the class. Role play is not as good on Zoom, and you can't record it as well and have it as clear. So come tomorrow to the class, and we'll be going an extra half hour. If you can stay, great. If you have to leave, I understand. Okay?
That's awesome. Thanks, Mark. Great value. Great value.
I put my mask back on so I can sneak out.
Yes, right. Okay,
These
so
new rules.
Thank you.
so that's good. Guys, that's going to be huge because, you know, Mark, yeah, I think most of you know Mark, that he's been in coaching forever, been in business. Mark, how long have you been in business?
28 years. And I just got through doing my calling. I'm going back to do my calling. So if anyone can teach you how to call and what we do, I'm a good example of
Yeah,
it.
that's it. So unfortunately, business doesn't come by accident. You know, it just doesn't. Rarely, let's say. Every now and then you get an accidental one, but rarely. And so Mark is going to be tomorrow spending extra time with you on that. So definitely something to put on your schedule. So guys, if you go to your page 7 in your participation guide, they're saying there, who do you know? Go ahead and write some ideas down of who do you know that's going through a life event, might need to move. So you remember those people and you could contact them. And it also says, who does not know you're a real estate agent that needs to know that? So anyone have any questions on that? Makes sense, right? So let's go to page 8 in your participant guide. And they're talking about the average person moves every 8 to 10 years. Right after a move, the likelihood that they will want to move again is at its lowest point, right? But over time, they begin to look more and more actively at buying, selling, or moving. And that's kind of what these peaks and waves are, right? So somebody just bought, they're going to be at the bottom. They're not going to be somebody who's going to buy or sell. Not usually. Again, every now and then I heard about, I do a lot of different coaching, and I heard a lot about one in particular today. Someone just put their house on the market that just bought it 6 months ago, did all the improvements, but then got offered a job out of town. So they sold that house that they just bought. I guess it went out over asking, and it was amazing, all done. You wouldn't have thought that that would have been someone to stay in touch with, right? Because they were fixing up the house they just bought. Yet that house went on the market. And from what I understand, it did not go on the market with the person that sold it to them. So interesting, right? Interesting. So make sure you're setting yourself up from the very beginning with connecting with people that you know and staying in touch with them. It's a really, really important piece of this.
Gosh, that's probably a big reality right now with people working from home, how Google released everyone to work from home. So that might be more of an occurrence than prior.
There you go. There, good point, Kirsten. So that could be the change that triggers it. I mean, I know Steve and I did work on our house that we probably wouldn't have done if at that one point where we weren't spending more time at home, and we knocked out walls and did all kinds of stuff. So, or people just say they can't function with teaching their kids at home, and then they have to work from home, and there's not enough space, and there's not enough office space. So people move. So it's a thinking process, right? So slow down and think about who you know that could be in that space, and make sure you keep track of it. So, and they talk about these little dots is like you want to know people along all along that trail, right? You want to be talking to people even after they bought. Stay in touch with them. Let them know what you hear and see going on in the market. That's what the stay in touch is, right? So don't fear your sphere. I love this one. So you guys, we already said you have decent numbers in your phone. So what would be your hesitation in calling your phone the people you know? Carlos? No?
What would be a hesitation?
Mhm.
Maybe last time you talked to them, you didn't have like the greatest
Could-
bad things.
Could be. Was that really bad terms, or did it just didn't feel as good at the time, or?
Yeah, maybe bad terms.
I guess you have to decide that. If it really was bad terms, did you perceive it as bad terms? Would they perceive it as bad
Oh,
terms?
yeah.
Yeah, they perceived it as bad terms.
No, like both, it was just bad.
Yeah. So it might be something to reconnect, possibly. So we build a lot of stories around even those kind of scenarios. You know, maybe it wasn't the best conversation yet. Could you reconnect? You know,
Yeah, for sure.
My hesitation is you haven't called them in a long time
Right.
and you're calling them because it sounds like you want something, or you're gonna catch up and at the end you're gonna throw out something there. And maybe when they were reaching out to you and they were selling something, you didn't buy it or participate. So now what, you want me to support you or what?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my hesitation of calling my sphere that I don't talk to on a regular basis.
So maybe there's a little bit of a story.
So I hide behind
Yeah.
like Facebook Messenger and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
just to slowly break in. That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah.
And I would, you know, what I would do is I would ask Mark specifically about that scenario
Tomorrow.
and ask him what he would say.
Right.
And I know that he's just going to make it be a conversation,
Right.
because even Mark's been a huge door knocker for a really, really long time. And he would have like a bad conversation or not comfortable, like, here's the reality. Most of the time, something could be going on with them that has nothing to do with you, right? Yet it feels really bad when you entered their space and you took it as that it was what you did wrong. And in most cases, it has nothing to do with you.
And I'm hypersensitive.
Yeah,
So
to that
things-
kind of thing, especially.
things that I have no business affecting me, affect me.
Yeah,
I have to learn how to
got to work on that.
keep it there.
Yeah, just kind of make a decision, decide to, not, you know, that thing where, that's that mindset belief system,
Exactly.
that if we want to let something impact us, it will. Or if we decide that that's not as important as we're allowing it to be,
Right.
it could be less important. So I think you got to listen to a lot of mindset stuff. I'm a huge Tony Robbins fan. And so listen to Tony, and he gives us a lot of support around that kind of stuff. So anyhow, so let's go back to your sphere or people that you know when you want to connect. They talk about the Ford method. Have you all heard about that before? It's pretty simple, right? Just connecting on how is the family, how's the occupation, what have you been doing for recreation, and then their dreams. You never know what you're going to get in their dreams, right? And you talk about that, like, so what have you been wanting to do that you haven't been able to do? That's a dream right now, right? Right, just doing that. So just having conversations of being open to people, that's what this Ford is about. So now, here's another piece that's really interesting with Keller Williams that allows us to have tools and multiple things there for us to use. So, and this could be a conversation, whether you offer Keller Mortgage or you offer your mortgage person and Keller Mortgage or whatever. It's an amazing time if people don't want to sell but want to refinance. Have they thought about looking at that? That could be part of your conversation. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sell. Someone has to sell their home. You're just having a conversation that maybe will help them save money, or you know, Keller Covered is insurance. Keller offers, don't deal with that too much. That's like buyer offers. And Keller Manage isn't up and running yet that I know of, but Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered are two things that we could offer people. Your app is another thing that you can offer people, helping people find what's on the market. I love that, connecting people with that neighborhood snapshot out of Command. Yeah, that's super cool, right? It just allows people to see what's going on in their neighborhood. And, you know, my husband set that to all his people. And that's why he has a listing right now, because one guy's like, wow, is this really what's going on in my neighborhood? He wanted to see what the price would be, and it's on the market. So it's kind of interesting, right? How that one tool can make a difference for people seeing it. Neighborhood snapshot.
On command.
On Command. It's under Smart Plans. That's exactly, thank you.
Monthly neighborhood nurture.
Yes, that's exactly right. I think the there's a bi-weekly one. I think that's too much myself, but I like the monthly one that just goes out once a month.
Mine's not working properly, just has a trouble ticket in. It's kicking, when I put it in, it automatically declines it for some reason. She tried to get it to work and it's not working.
So she put a
just make
ticket in.
sure that it goes through if you do it.
Yeah.
Maybe do. I did a practice on myself and it worked. So I added like a bunch of names in and they all kicked back. So she's working on fixing it.
Oh, interesting,
So, yeah.
interesting. I haven't heard that. I know a lot of people were using it,
Yeah.
but it could have been a glitch just that one day or something. that
Yeah,
caused
so
that.
she's gonna get it fixed.
Yeah,
Because it's really cool what it sends out.
Really cool. Yeah. I did it with my 2 different team leaders and we played around with it. So now I have it coming to me all the time from one of my team leaders. Wow, it's so awesome. You know, that you get to just look at stuff in your neighborhood. Even as an agent, I just don't think of that. But when it comes, you go, oh, look how interesting that is. So it's kind of cool. So just know the different pieces that you have through KW that you could use and have as part of a conversation. And don't forget, like even refi, if somebody's been in their home, even a short time, could they refi and save money? It's a good thing. So. We're not gonna go into Command right now, but how many of you have been working on the marketing profile in Command? Have you got yourself in there and you have all your details in? Because without that done, you can't really do anything else. So make sure you have your full profile done under the marketing piece. It's under marketing, right? Carlos, is yours done? Yeah.
I was at 97 or something. I don't know what my other three.
Okay, good, good. Ryan, is yours done?
Is it through Command or the internet?
Command. It's the marketing profile.
Like with your name and your picture and everything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. So that's one of the things you definitely want to spend some time on, working on your business.
It tells you in the upper left how much. It's this page here. That's it's when you first log into Command, and if you look in the upper left, it'll give you a percent.
Yeah, that,
Of where.
and I think that one's even a different one than this. Yeah, that one's Connect and that one's different.
Well, when I go into yeah, it shows me I'm 97% complete, profile completeness.
But I think that's, yeah, that is different than
Oh, it's-
Command though.
Yeah,
'Cause-
this one's my KW.
Yes.
Oh, was that not Command? I was in?
No, you want the one that's in Command.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a little bit different than the marketing tool that's in Command.
Mine says 97 too, but I think she means this one, the first.
Yeah, that's under Command and under the little icon, I think is,
The icon that says profile.
yes, profile, marketing profile.
Oh, gotcha, okay. So let's see, profile. Does it give you a percent?
So all I see here is the picture and
Yes,
the
right.
bio.
Hey, Jess, if you're listening, could you come in for a minute?
Yeah, do you want me to share my screen right now on my computer?
Oh, I love you, Jess. Yes, whatever. You're coming in from heaven. I love
Yeah,
that.
I'm watching from above.
Okay, so Jess is going to show you guys. Jessica, the part where I want to make sure that their marketing profile is set up.
Oh yeah, Terry, I have to come in and share and enable screen sharing. So I'm gonna come in with my laptop.
Okay. So she's going to come in. I just want to make sure you all know where that is so that you could be working on that piece.
Yeah, because there's two places where you can check your profile. The marketing profile is going to be the Command one, and the percentage is going to be on the KW profile.
So the percent, Jess, when you go into, when you go into KW Connect, that percentage isn't the same as your marketing profile though in Command, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, I'm gonna stop share for you. Allow multiple people. And then I'm gonna sit here. Cheers. Okay, turn myself on mute. Perfect. Okay, so in Command, you have to go, there's two profiles. So the one that Megan was talking about was if you click your name and click profile, takes you to your internal Keller Williams profile. So it has a bio and you can update your picture with whatever you want. But this is internal only. To get to your marketing profile, you click your name.
And the marketing profile, the one that's good. When you send out anything on a command, you want this marketing profile to be clear.
Yep, settings,
So they clicked on their name and then they went to settings.
name, settings. And then scooch over to the left side of the screen where it says connect settings. And then marketing profile is going to be right there. And once you click that, your information is going to be on here. It's going to have your photo, team logo. If you don't have a team and you're an individual, you can get like your name in a cursive writing or font and put that as your team logo. And then you just put your generic information, your name, your license number, your
Jessica,
bio.
you said if you don't have a team, do what?
So
Just
you
put
can-
your name in there.
Yeah, so you can get a JPEG of your name in cursive,
Okay.
and you can just upload it there, or you don't have to have them. You can leave it blank. Your bio, your office information. Let's see, yeah, our broker information, the legal footer, your social media.
And that
links.
legal footer is super important, guys. What you put in there shows up on everything, right, Jess?
Right.
So that's super important that that's all in there and correct.
And then social media, so you can have direct links to your Facebook and Twitter and Instagram accounts. And then if you had Facebook and Google Analytics, you can put your tracking ID in there, but again, that's optional. And then your branded KW app link, which is the custom link to your app. The other really, really important button on this screen is this one right here. It says use my information to brand my agent site. You want to make sure that it's green, which means it's on. And then that way it will pull all of your marketing information from this section. So whether you're sending out an email, if you're configuring your website, it'll pull from your app. So everything is going to pull from this, not just the agent site, but that is the magic green button. And then if you want some assistance filling all this out, there's the Kelly Guide. So you can click Marketing Profile Kelly Guide. And it takes you through all of the things that get started. And then you can see your name, team, your website, agent info, and it's all the same, but you can see it kind of look nice on the left side as you upload it on the right side. And you can exit out of it, and it'll always save your info. So again, that's settings, or click your name, then settings, connect settings on the left, and then marketing profile. Cool. The other profile is the mykw.kw.com, and this is where it gives you the percentage of completeness. So these, I don't know if you're saying these don't sync together. Again, this is just an internal on the MyKW profile, where it has your information, your username, your roles, your picture, and again, very basic office information.
You want that on there, guys, because when people are searching through Keller Williams, they can find you across the nation. So you definitely want to fill that out. And it's really super important that the command piece is done, because that's really all of the marketing through command is through that piece.
Right. So that's why I only have 76%, because I'm missing some of my information on here, like my home phone, my biography is missing, my agent site's missing, but I can go in and update all that information.
Does that make sense? Any questions? Any questions online? I don't see anything. Don't forget to, if you have any questions online, make sure you text me, my cell, 805-907-1150.
And we're going to go to share your screen. We're just going to share PowerPoint. Oh, wait, no, we were on this.
Is it behind there?
But there's two different PowerPoints open. Perfect. And I can keep clicking.
It's good.
Yep, I can see it.
Let's see, the clickability isn't there. Let's see here. There.
Perfect.
Okay. Sound good? We're all ready to go on. So database, of course, we've been talking about that. So you definitely want to have your contacts in command. Definitely want to have people tagged so you could send them specific things. Another key piece of this. Now, inside Ignite there's a toolkit, lots of great stuff in there that you can find job resources. There's scripts in there. This is all under Ignite, okay? Now, if, Carlos, is it under, does she have that under her? You might have to go on to KW to get all this because there's complete material like script book and all that stuff. Does she have that all downloaded on that Google Drive thing that you have there? Or is it just the participation manual? Because there, I would definitely go into KW, go into education, and you could go in and download some really cool stuff like the, I love the script books. And then there's checklists to prepare an offer. There's all different things in here that you could use. Checklists to write an offer, things that,
KW command,
this is all in KW, Connect.
connect.
Yes, Connect. Checklist for reviewing an offer. I love this one, buyer lead sheet. Questions that you would ask a potential buyer on the phone to see if they're pre-qual, if to be someone you'd want to work with now. Does she have that in there, Carl?
No, it's only like kind of what we're.
Okay, so to go into this, then you need to go into KW Connect, go into education, and then it says search and put in Ignite 2.0 and it'll come up and you can find the tools
There's
in
no
it.
education, there's calendar, training, resources, technology, referrals, memberships.
Try my KW.
Yeah, my KW.
It's under technology.
Isn't it this one?
KW Connect, go to that a second for me. No, because you need to go to,
It's right here, this one.
yeah, that's exactly where it is. You got to get back out to where she is.
KW
Yep,
internet?
there, education.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
KW internet. Okay.
Yep, education. And then I always just go to search, that blue little search thing,
Okay.
this thing. Click on that and then put in Ignite 2.0. And then that'll come up. And inside of that, you'll find other material that would be good to make sure you download and have for yourself. Any questions on that?
So,
Did you find it, Carlos?
yeah, so you do what you said.
Put Ignite 2.0 in here.
So I want to go all the way from the back. You go to my KW and then you press education.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then it should come up. It's one of the first ones, Ignite 2.
Okay, yep, you can go right there, exactly.
Unless you're me, mine never lets me in.
What's that about?
I don't know, I'm gonna ask
Is it,
Jessica.
yeah, check with Jess, might be your password.
Materials is ready.
Exactly,
Materials, right?
yeah, exactly. That doesn't make sense. Is it, maybe there's something affiliating wrong.
Yeah, I'm trying on a different browser.
Yeah. So this is going to be some of the classes that fuel your career. Lead generation is the core of your business. Powerful language gets results. Your database is your business. Setting goals that matter. These are some of the classes that you're going to have within our thing. Deliver your value proposition. That's always a good one. You really definitely want to know what your value proposition is. Love that one. Find and win the buyer. Again, there's going to be all different agents and stuff that are selling this. Mark is doing tomorrow. He said he's doing lead gen, which what day is tomorrow? Tuesday. And then he's doing Friday. So that must be set goals that matter. And then he's doing one next week. And there's other people doing. So you have a lot of great instructors going through the course. And it's kind of fun because you get their mindset and their thoughts on it. Doing okay, Ryan?
I'm just reading. Yeah.
Okay, good. So again, it just kind of breaks it down to prospecting, marketing, open houses, seller appointments, buyer consultations, making and receiving offers, negotiating the deal, financial basics, contract to close, and market spenders specific module. So that one's just going to stand out. All right, so let's get into something that's really, really, really relevant into finding this here. So this is what this course talks about that we should be focusing on daily, and that's growing and managing your database. They say 10 new contacts to your database. Add 10 new contacts to your database daily. Okay? Then prospect, speak with 10 people in your database. Then follow up, write 10 notes to people you've recently contacted, and then know your market, preview 10 homes. So preview 10 homes looks different than it used to when I previewed homes, right? I'm old school. I got to actually go to houses and preview. Now no one does that. Most of the previews are all done online where you get to see what the homes are. But this is important, guys, so you can really get to know areas, know floor plans, understand. I would never go into a community without knowing something about, at least driving it ahead of time before I work with a buyer. And when I started in real estate, I didn't know the area because I came from Colorado. So I really would encourage you, if you're going to start working with buyers, start driving neighborhoods, start getting an eye for what the homes are like in those neighborhoods. And then when you get the buyer that takes you out of the area, then you'll have to go drive those neighborhoods as well. So now the trick with this grow and manage your database, adding 10 new contacts, you might not be adding 10 contacts. You might be adding 10 leads, right? It's still good because what you're doing is building your database and tracking it. Because every agent who will say how many they have in their database, they're not necessarily always contacts, right? Because you're meeting people all the time. Have you all tried any Facebook lead gen at all?
I'm messing with that.
Okay.
Try it and success.
Okay. So it's more of a long-term game.
Yeah.
It's not going to be much of a short-term game, but I got to be honest with you. So having the 2 market centers in 2 totally different areas, the Rancho Cucamonga agents are getting a lot more, it seems like, activity on Facebook and Command. Like I know one guy, he's pushing on it hard, and he is probably closed 10 people out of it already, which is a lot, right? And he just joined Keller Williams maybe 6 months ago, but he's hard on it. That's what he does. That's his lead gen, is that Facebook proponent. And he's putting out different ads and he's doing different stuff. And that's kind of his whole commitment to it, but he's closing business off it. So it works. It's just those homes that he's bringing up are 400, 500, maybe 600,000. And we have, 800, 900 million. So it's a little bit different. I don't know if that's what it is. I haven't been able to deep dive into it enough to know, but I do find it interesting that you could have somebody who's doing that kind of business from it, right? And then we don't have quite that kind of activity here. So it's kind of interesting to me. So, and internet lead generation is a whole different game too. Y'all know, because you got to stay in touch with those people normally for a longer period of time, right? Now he's been able to, because he generates a lot of leads, he's been able to convert them sooner than later. Where generally it's going to take a process of those people being in your database for quite a period of time before that turns into an actual lead. But he's doing really well with it. So when you think about adding 10 new contacts, just realize 10 of them may be leads and maybe not necessarily contacts. Okay. But that's going to be really, really an important piece of what you're doing right now, is getting people in there, getting them tagged and having conversation with them. And then prospecting, speaking to them, of course, the 10 people. Follow-up, notes are challenging. For me, notes are challenging because I talk fast and write slow. I think slow. Like I have to think and I rewrite, and then I have to go put it on a different card to put it. It's a slower process. Yet people love that. So it's something that you definitely, it's either you or not you. It's one of those things. Does that make sense? To me, it was very challenging getting that done in a timely fashion. Yet for some people, they live and thrive in that connection with cards and notes and stuff. So they say it's a good thing. And then knowing the market. So Does that seem like that's something that you could commit to on a daily basis? Kirsten, when you built your other business, was it business to business, or I would think so, right? Business to business. So to build a business that was big enough to sell, how long did that take you? And what was your process like daily?
It wasn't that long.
Okay.
And the company only existed 7 years because I started it before it was a thing. And it was really the software part of it. So I didn't necessarily sell the clients. It was the proprietary software to it. And all my clients were doctors, but they were not just individuals, but like I had all of Southern California orthopedic. So that kind of, it almost sold itself at that point.
Right. So different prospecting.
Yeah, totally different and all in person. It was all me going in and really virtual or email because my software was a virtual type thing. So that it's hard to explain. It's different. It was different than door knocking but it was all.
So what's your approach, since you've already had great success and you did an amazing thing with that business, what will be your main approach with this business?
Well, to me, it's all people and it's communication. And it was me that would go in and close it, whether it was one of my sales reps or not. So to me, that's no different. I have a product I'm selling and with real estate, I'm selling myself. So to me, it's the same process. It's just a different product.
So I mean, I know the difference because I did business to business sales for a while, and it's an interesting transition for agents being an agent now. Everyone is your prospect.
Right.
Where before I dealt with independent pharmacies, so I was very clear who my prospect was, right? But now everyone is your prospect. Where that seems really super amazing, sometimes that's really challenging for people. So just know that you've got to have your own approach and you have to be very consistent with it every day, or it's actually a negative. And I've seen it happen many times that people just, because it's so broad and there's so many people out there, that you connect to an excuse of, well, there's so many agents, or I don't know how to connect with people this one, or I can't do this, or I can't. So you just really got to connect, decide, commit to how you're going to connect with people. So, and Kirsten, that'll be the different thing for you.
Yeah.
Is because business to business actually is, I think, easier because it's very defined who you're going after, and then you just go after it and you go after it and you go after it and you go after it, right? Well, it's the same thing with this. You just got to go after it and go after it and go after it and go after it. Yet it feels more defeating in this industry because it's one-on-one. Does that make sense? So that's why you say you got to do at least this. You got to do at least this. And frankly, I think you have to do more than that. I think you have to do more than that. So any questions around that? So what they're talking about here is just really understanding that you got to divide your business into growing your business and running your business. And this is like getting your listing presentation ready and finding listings, right? So it doesn't do you any good to have a listing presentation if you don't have people to call on. So I definitely would encourage you to focus a lot more time on your lead generation process of finding the business and then working on those pieces of, your listing. Patrick has great stuff for you over there if you're working with a buyer or a seller. So there's great things he can put together for you very quickly. And they're saying, make sure you're preparing both sides. So any questions on that? Does that make sense? Is it, we're pretty much through this material for today. What's the biggest challenge that you guys have right now? Because Carlos, how long have you been in? I was going to say, you're just brand new, right? Ryan? Yeah. How long have you been? I was gonna say a month or two. Catherine, you're newer.
Yeah, July. My biggest challenge is feeling comfortable with what I know. I can talk to people, appear like I'm not
Knowledgeable.
brand new.
Mhm.
Confidence.
But like last night I was showing the buyer a condo and he's like, well, I heard that it's better to not buy a place with Melrose. Does this have Melrose? And I'm like, okay, I've heard that. I know it has to do with taxes, but I just kind of faked my way through it. And I said, I said, let me find out some more information for you. I said, I have to find out, about this specific one. And then I'm like calling Sally. I'm like, oh my God, what is it?
Yeah, but that's perfect. You just didn't feel comfortable, but that was perfect.
Like, I feel like he knew more than I did.
Yeah.
Exactly. Owned a home before.
Yeah.
And
He didn't though.
researching his stuff and
I'm the opposite. I'm having a harder time with scripts.
see, I can talk off the top of my head. I have
Yeah.
no problem with that.
Yeah.
It's
But
not very
that's-
scripted, but-
That's what you're always going to do is just say, let me check on that. I want to be certain before I give you that answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I
So
just-
Melrose is normally going to be newer developments,
I
normally.
mean, and I think that's an
So,
age thing with me too, where I'm older, and I've been in a work environment for so long where I know what I'm doing, or things that I've changed into, I've always been competent in, and I'm not now, and this is serious stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this isn't go home and forget about what you did for the day and get a paycheck.
right.
So-
Well, as Gary said though, that one, he doesn't want people to, what happens is agents start to learn a little bit and then they stop learning and they stop that feeling. In all reality, we should have that feeling every day.
I love
Every day we
learning.
should be learning something different, whether it's a
Right.
skill of a script or maybe it's something new about Melrose. A lot of stuff, unfortunately, you learn as you're working with people that you wouldn't even know,
Right.
right? And it's because it's not like having a product. Our product is so much more diverse, right? Because it depends on that house, and especially if you're selling in a different area that you're not certain of, it leaves you open to that. So what other concerns or questions on the lead gen process? You were saying that scripts is your bigger challenge?
Or just like having the scripts translate to more conversational manner. So that's where I'm at a little more.
So when you listen to Mark tomorrow,
Yeah, I'm excited.
Mark just talks. But those are things he's learned for years. What did he say? 28 years? Okay, so he's been in coaching for 20 some years. I know that for certain. So he didn't learn to be that way in a day. It took a long time, but he practiced that. He really became that. I mean, his background, for God's sakes, he's an accountant. You would never think, right? Not the way he speaks and the way he is and his energy and stuff. He doesn't appear as accountants are usually, more of a analytical, more critical thinker, a little slower speaking. He's none of that, right? But he's learned that to get what he wants, he had to be that. And so, you'll learn that. You'll learn, but you have to practice. That's going to take you some time, but that shouldn't stop you from working with people. You'll become more comfortable the more true prospecting you're doing. So when you work with people, it's a little easier. You know what I mean? Because you already are comfortable in a conversation and it just kind of more exists. Where when you start trying to convert people you don't know, you have to ask a lot more questions. You have to dig deeper than you would with maybe someone you knew better. That's why the phone and those contacts in there. Have you gone after any of the people in your phone yet?
Yeah, I started just prospecting my circle in general. I'm finding a lot of people are just answering more of my message, my circle, whereas if I'm like doing cold calls for like my partners or something in Oak Park or doing my farm. I don't know, I'm getting a lot. It seems like it's easier to talk to people you don't know sometimes.
Sure.
Because it's like,
People say that, absolutely, because you don't have to worry about looking anyway, because it doesn't matter, right?
right.
We all worry about how we appear to people, right? And so when you're working with people you're going to be more critical on yourself and harder. on yourself, then when people you don't know, you just go do it. That's really great that you're calling those places. So make sure you're using the do not call list that's coming out. So if you have a service that gets you numbers, usually those are cleaned. But if not, Gay's got the do not call list. So just be careful with that piece. But it's good. It's good you are. Always just be nice. When you apologize, it makes a big difference to people, unless they're having a really bad day. But that's okay.
The numbers that we get on the form, Sherry, and lawyer's title,
Those won't be, I wouldn't think those are clean.
they aren't?
I wouldn't think so. You'd have to ask them.
Oh.
More than likely, they give you the numbers, but I wouldn't think that it's a clean list. Clean lists are usually like you pay for RoboDollar, and there's like 3 or 4 different companies that have lists that are cleaned. But you'd have to ask your title person who gave you those. Yeah. But you could just cross-check it with the do not call list that we have now. So, and Gay's, I think, if they haven't explained how that works, they will this week.
Is it a list? Oh.
Yeah. It's,
You get it from Gay?
I don't know how they're working it exactly. I think they're going to give you the contact. Oh, I hear Jessica from heaven.
I'm
Hey,
here.
Jess.
We're going to release it on Wednesday and send out the email with the username, and you'll be able to download the entire list. So if you're using another service, they usually have an upload list where they'll scrub that list for you.
Yeah.
And then the registry also has a manual check. So you can type in all the phone numbers you have, click submit, and it will tell you who's rejected and don't call and who's like on their list and who's good and clean. So
That's
we'll send that out
the
Wednesday.
the new service we have, right, Jess?
Right.
Yeah. So it's awesome. Gay did the work on this and got it up and running, and Justin is helping making sure everyone knows how to use it. And they'll be talking about that Wednesday. So we're excited about that. Yeah.
Thanks, Jessica.
Yeah. Thanks, Jess.
Yeah, no problem.
I love that when someone's listening, can give us information that I don't know. So, any other questions that I could answer for you or potentially answer?
I think before I joined Keller Williams, I was preparing like, okay, you gotta go down on all this stuff, and then I come in and you can't do any of that stuff, the
Yeah.
open houses. And I think that's kind of the hardest thing. Because I was so prepared to just like, all right, 30, 40, 50 houses a day, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, how do I target these people?
Yeah. The unfortunate thing to that is like calling and emailing is going to be the only way you can get around it right now. The good thing, if you can get your mindset around it, is they always say that calling is faster than door knocking. And so, and people do that. But I agree with you that I door knocked when I was an agent, and I like it because it seems easier and you're meeting people. You're just meeting people. And hopefully, I mean, if you live in an area where you know people really well, I wouldn't hesitate introducing myself, going to a door.
Yeah, because it's not really like,
Yeah. Yeah, there's people door knocking, but you just got to be really careful with it.
yeah.
With it, and especially people are more sensitive in some areas than other areas. Older people, you definitely want to give them space for that kind of thing. You just really got to be conscious and aware of what you're doing
Okay, that makes sense.
right now. But I have people who I know for a fact are door knocking people they know. Okay, so people they know already, and they do pop-bys to their database of people that they know. That's one thing, but I still would door knock and step back, knock the door and step back, even for those people. But it's something to think about. Or door knock and have a little bottle of antiseptic and something like, hey,
Could you drop like a little hand sanitizer with your card at the door, like knock and drop and go?
Because you can't leave notes either.
People, okay, so I'm not the right person to talk to about this because Why is it, did we tell you to send 10 cards, right? You're going to put those in the mail. You touched it, you put it in the mail, they're opening it.
Yeah.
Is that not the same
I thought it
thing?
wasn't spread by touch, it's the drop.
It's all,
It's always.
it's exactly. Not that I do believe that this is a bad disease, and I do believe that we need to be smart. Don't get me wrong, I'm not ignorant to think that it doesn't exist. It does. Yet, if you're mailing something or you're dropping something off, how is it different? I just don't understand
It's a
that.
less touch to drop it.
That's what I
than to
think.
mail it.
That's what I
If you're
think.
looking at envelopes,
Yeah.
see what-
Oh,
I-
that's gross.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. But I have politicians dropping stuff.
I'm telling you, it's just a bunch of,
That's just for us,
Yeah.
not.
Pumpkin and a letter from another realtor in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
a couple days ago.
Yeah. I think the pumpkin thing is cute,
That
personally.
is very cute.
It was cool. I woke up, I was looking out the window and he was riding on like the back of like a truck just filled with like all these baby pumpkins.
Yeah.
And he was like having people like
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
cute.
and I know I talked to, at the gym, I talked to a guy who's not with us, who was dropping flags. Now, he said that the city told him that they were going to fine him. I've never heard that. I don't know why that would be, but he has a bit of an attitude, though. He's a little negative, so I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, that
but-
doesn't make sense either, because
No,
there's
it-
politician signs on.
Exactly.
city.
Exactly. Nothing truly makes sense, you know? And so it's very challenging for me to be regulated by something that I believe don't have a lot of strong feeling in. But, you know, we just, we only have one reputation.
Yeah.
So how we use it is really important, I think. So I love the idea of doing Popeyes that people know. I love the idea of pumpkins.
Oh my gosh, I'm so gonna do that.
So I personally love that. I think dropping off a hand sanitizer and
Right.
a card is, I love it. So, but you know, you just always got to just be cautious.
What do you think about, like, I was thinking about this, my dad does a farmer's market on Sundays, and I'll go help him sometimes, and I was thinking, what if I like staple like a card to a bag, and I know all these people that usually buy from him? Is that a good idea? Or
You know the people too?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be there. Are you kidding me?
Do a flyer.
I just be with your dad. Just be with
I
your
saw
dad.
somebody do that and nobody came to the booth.
No, it'd be better to be with your dad because you know the people already. And just be super excited and just say, my gosh, there's just so much going on. If you ever need information,
Yeah.
bang, just have a conversation. That's amazing. Go do
I
that.
also have an uncle that does the 1 in 1,000 notes, but I've never been there. Would it be done to give him cards and be like, hey, if you have customers that you see every week and you know?
Why can't you go do both?
I could, but Thursday.
What day is it?
Thursday, that's 1,000.
You should go so they connect.
Yeah, I think you need to go.
Yeah, because they have a lot of clientele and they're like weekly customers there.
You gotta go. That's like perfect. Perfect, exactly, perfect. They're already there, choosing to be there. You can wear a mask. Perfect.
Better than a door knock, because they're coming to you.
That is so amazing, so amazing. Maybe you could do a little logo shirt or, you know, so you have a little bit on and just be warm and be who you are. That's such a great idea. My God, you better go do that.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing that for like 2 or 3 weeks at least.
Yes.
I get to know the people.
Yes.
and like,
Yes, absolutely.
and that's-
Talk about them, not you, you know, like,
Yeah.
gosh, so many people are so excited about what's going on. I'd be happy to get you information about the track you live in, or just make it about what you can give them. Because that would be Neighborhood Snap in your database.
Okay.
You just need their detail, need their information. Oh, that's such a good, he's got a huge lead source there. Okay, I'm gonna follow up with you, Carlos. That's a good one.
I'm just trying to think outside.
That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. Thinking inside the box gets us nowhere. We have to think outside the box, right? And be compliant, right? There's nothing wrong with him doing that, right? I'm not gay, but I'd say there's nothing wrong with that. Go do it. Go do it.
All right.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love the bottle of antiseptic at the door. I love popping by people you know. Love all that. So let's see if anyone else has any questions. Nope. Okay, good, good. Everyone online, that's gonna be it for today. Anything else that I haven't, you guys can just text me or call me. Mark's here tomorrow. Definitely want to do that one. That'll be a good one. And like I said, his scripts, record it because he's really great with scripts. He's a good one to follow. And he's doing it every day. So he still does it every day. All right. So I will let Jessica take that down. All right. Thanks for coming online, you guys. Thanks, Zoomers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Zoomers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey Terry, can you press the stop share button? It's the red one.
Hit the stop share button.
Yep.
Got it. Get it.
Perfect. And then you can end the meeting at the bottom.
It's red. Got it.
Yep.